Hello guys, I'm back with another video. This is my third video today so far. This might be the last one today, I'm not for sure. But let me comment below if you want me to do another one today. So today we're going to be reacting to 3 Scary to Find My iPhone horror stories. Now, I don't have Find My iPhone, I don't think enabled, but I don't think I actually have it on this iPhone. It's an iPhone 5S, like one of the oldest iPhones. I think the oldest iPhone is actually an iPhone 4. Cause I don't think they made an iPhone 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to have to look that up after the video, but I just get on with this. I don't think I have to find my iPhone or like enabled. I have no idea how long this is. I should have looked before I started playing it. Yeah. So far it's looking pretty long.
I went to a bar with a couple of friends one Saturday night.
Don't go to bars.
We got really drunk and eventually all spread out throughout the bar and went to talk to different people.
Don't get drunk.
Long story short, I was having a bad night and I wasn't feeling the whole bar scene really. I called an Uber home, which was about 15 minutes away. The Uber pulled up.
You did.
But instead some old, crappy looking 2003 or something Honda Accord pulls up in front of the bar. I knocked on the window and asked, "Mike?" He nodded, so I got in the passenger seat, only because the front seat was covered with books and other stuff that appeared to be junk. In fact, the entire car was messy. The back seats...
I don't think I heard that right. Wait a minute.
We got really drunk and eventually all spread out throughout the bar as we went to talk to different people.
I heard that right.
Long story short, I was having a bad night, and I wasn't feeling the whole bar scene really.
Yeah,
I called an Uber home, which was about 15 minutes away.
I'm gonna see if I heard that right.
The Uber pulled up, but instead some old, crappy-looking 2003 or something Honda Accord pulls up in front of the bar. I knocked on the window and asked, "Mike?" He nodded, so I got in the passenger seat, only because the front seat was covered with books and other stuff that...
Okay. So, that makes sense what he just said. He just said that okay, I already know that this is by Mr. Nightmare, by the way, but I already know that he, like, takes stories from other people and, like, puts them in these videos, but, like, the person, like, that person that got into the, okay, he should have worded it differently, because he said that he got to a passenger seat only because the front seat was filled with books and papers and stuff, but if that car pulled up in front of the bar, then wouldn't that car have a person inside the driver's seat? And you got a passenger seat. The passenger seat is on the other side of the driver car. Or no, not the driver. The driver car? What the flip is that? Anyways, like the driver's seat, not car, driver's seat. And the passenger seat's over to the right of it, usually. I seen one of them that had it flipped around. I don't know why. I think it was like, it was at dealership, I think. Well, I don't know. But that's made no sense the way he said it. Like, that makes sense at all. If there was books and stuff in the front seat, and then you went to go sit in the passenger seat because there was books in front of the front seat, that makes no sense. Unless it wasn't a driver, it could just pull it up by itself. It could be a ghost car, it could be, but more likely not. It could be a ghost driving the car. Ghost. I don't like saying ghosts. It's usually spirits, not ghosts. Like, I don't think ghosts. I think it's just called spirits. That's what I call them, spirits. It's a spirit car. First spirit car in the world. Spirits driving. I didn't know that could happen. That makes no sense.
Appeared to be junk. In fact, the entire car was messy. The back seats, too. He didn't seem like the kind of Uber driver to joke around and make conversation with. He was on the older side. Not that old, but his hair was thinning, and based on what I could see of his face, he looked kind of unfriendly. So I kept silent. I was pretty drunk, though, so I barely remember what I was doing. Probably drunk texting people and whatnot. I'm telling you, I was blackout drunk because I don't remember even getting out of the car.
I said it.
All I really remember is waking up the next morning and realizing my phone was missing. I checked everywhere. I practically turned my whole room upside down looking for it. Eventually, after hours of searching, I came to the unfortunate acceptance that I must have lost my phone the night before. I had my brother text all my friends asking if they had my phone. All of them said no. Then I remembered I recently activated Find My iPhone. I excitedly told my brother to track my phone using the Find My iPhone app. Sure enough, my iPhone came up on the map. It was a few miles away, on the much worse side of town, the part of town everyone knew not to go to. My brother agreed to come with me, not only to help track the phone, but to serve as backup if needed. We pulled up to what appeared to be the house that the iPhone on the map was sitting over. It was a small box-like house. 2 windows in front, 1 window on the upper level. It was either 8 or 9 p.m., still early, so my brother and I went ahead and rang the doorbell. It didn't seem like the bell worked, though, so I knocked really hard on the door. We could actually hear footsteps on a creaky wood floor approaching the front door.
It failed. Okay, so I'm back. I accidentally clicked that button. I think I swiped to the. So my phone's turned sideways. Instead of swiping down, I swiped to the left. So therefore, it like made that. Do y'all know on iPhones? If y'all have an iPhone, let me comment below if you know this. iPhones, they have like little. There's storm brewing. The thunder hasn't stopped yet. I don't know if it picks up on camera. I don't know if it's thunder or not. But like if you swipe, well, not to the left. If you swipe down when your phone's like facing right side up, so like sideways. And that means it will like pop up something. Basically, I don't know how to pronounce it. Like, oh my god. But that thing popped up. If y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
There was a peephole in the door. So I had a feeling someone was watching us through it at that very moment.
Really don't.
After an uncomfortably long silence, the door cracked open and someone asked who it is in a very raspy, almost familiar voice.
Who is it?
We mentioned the lost iPhone situation.
I did that, by the way.
At first he played dumb, but when I turned to the driveway and recognized the old Honda Accord, I called him out for being my Uber driver and that I must have dropped my phone in his car. At this point he opened the door fully and revealed himself to indeed be my Uber driver. Now he acted like he remembered, but his whole persona and everything was disturbing. He clearly didn't know what social cues were, or forget that, he clearly just didn't know what social skills were. He told us to come in and shut the door behind us. Then he told us to wait there while he went upstairs to find my phone.
Okay, first of all.
And as creep.
Drop my phone again. Ow. I'm about to break my phone, ain't I? Probably. But anyways, because first of all, like, I am literally, like, talking fast, like, I am so, like, boy, if he says, okay, so pretend like somebody beside me, they're really not right now. By the way, y'all can, like, look on my camera, there's, like, literally nobody at my door over there, there's, like, literally nobody to any of my sides. Y'all can't see that psycho because there's a window right there and my camera's terrible. But anyway, so pretend like somebody beside me, right? And I say, close the door behind you. And I have their phone. And I say, let me go upstairs and get your phone. And they know they lost your phone with me or something. So let me go upstairs and get my phone and get your phone. Boy, once you just turn the phone in, that means they're hiding something. Well, I mean, basically, I'm hiding something in this example. Let me go upstairs and get your phone. Instead, grabs a knife, come back down, kill him, and then over. Okay. That's what you can do.
I felt relieved that I'd be getting my phone back.
Why?
My brother and I stood in the tiny hallway of this man's tiny house. It was so archaic inside. The finishing, the design, everything. The floral wallpaper covering all of the walls looks like it belonged in a house built in the 1930s.
Oh,
the stairs that the man walked up were creaky and sounded like they were ready to collapse.
There's a jump scare in this. Like, I know one of his videos I've seen, he had like a jump scare, like
followed his every step
crazy things with these pictures.
Directly overhead.
It has that.
My brother and I patiently played the waiting game.
Okay, I'm gonna scoot this desk back in case I get up. So I get scared.
He seemed to be up there for a total of 10 minutes. My brother and I got so impatient at this point that we started calling up the stairs, asking the man if he needed help. We heard a slight creak in the floor right above us again, but he didn't call back.
What's that?
My brother told me to go upstairs and check if he needed help.
There's a shadow over there.
So I hesitantly did.
Guys, I hate pausing videos, but there's a shadow. Look. So look on my camera, face cam, whatever it's called, or whatever, I don't know. But there is a shadow over there, but then when I point over, it's gone. That's creepy. I don't know if it's the way I'm sitting, or like it's the way the camera's angled. I don't know. Hopefully it is. Because, like, I need a Ouija board and my house is haunted. I don't know for YouTube videos, of course, because usually I forget. Usually I'm just too tired, don't do it, I just fall asleep. But I need to do Ouija boards and my house is haunted. If you don't believe in the Ouija board, who are you then? But that's creepy. I'm just going to continue. Just ignore it.
As I got halfway up the stairs, I realized it was insanely dark up there.
Creepy.
Which made me wonder how he could even possibly be looking for my phone.
He's not. He's grabbing a knife out of his pocket. Or maybe like on his desk.
There seemed to be 3 open doors. One leading to a bathroom, the other 2 leading to bedrooms. All the lights were off except for a little hallway nightlight. I called out for the man again, to no avail. I called down the stairs to my brother, saying that all the lights were off and something wasn't right. He didn't answer for some reason. I checked the bathroom. Empty. I was about to check one of the bedrooms, passing the door to the bathroom, but I stopped when I saw something through the crack of the bathroom door. The man, he was hiding behind the door, holding something in his hand. I felt like he was looking at me, but I didn't look for more than a second. I looked away, pretended I didn't notice.
Kind of videos.
I had to get downstairs ASAP. I nervously called out to the man that I'd be going downstairs and that I'd be right back. I walked with a certain speed and jumped my step right to the stairs, at which point I booked it and screamed for my brother to follow me.
But I get scared very easily from all the stuff I see on the Ouija board, from watching scary movies late at night and everything.
Followed me outside to the car.
I'm just cautious.
We drove down the block as I explained in full.
I'm just gonna watch it. Y'all can look at the
The next thing we did was dial 911 for the police.
Listen.
An officer showed up to the house where we returned, showed the officer the Find My iPhone app screen, and knocked on the door with the officer. The man would eventually answer, and the officer forced the man to fetch the phone. This time he did without hesitation. He went up the stairs and 10 seconds later came back down. My brother and I begged the officer to arrest him or do something, given that he looked as if he were waiting to strike me as he was behind that door. The officer said there was nothing he could do though, and I swear, as I said this, the Uber driver looked at me with the most disgusting, disturbing, and evil stare I'd ever seen. I gave him the middle finger and turned away as we left the house, which felt good slightly, but I still get scared thinking about seeing that man behind that door, very clearly holding something in his hand, most likely waiting to attack me if I were to see him.
YouTubers I watch. Be right back. Guys, I'm back. Something happened with the recording, and my tripod wasn't working. Putting on a tripod just so I can see me a lot better. Right there, and there. I don't use a computer to record.
Before I got an iPhone 10, I used to have an iPhone 7.
One was like,
I was perfectly fine with that phone, and I never got a scratch on it.
Jesus.
I'd probably still have that phone now if I didn't lose it. I always had the Find My iPhone feature enabled, however, just in case if I did lose it, I'd be able to track it. To this day, I still don't remember how or where I lost the phone. All I remember is I came home one day, quickly realized I didn't have my phone on me, and had a mini heart attack. I searched the whole house, my car, the pathway up to the house. I even drove back to all the locations I was in that night to look for it. But I couldn't find it anywhere. Then I remembered I could sign into my iCloud account from my laptop and track my iPhone using the Find My iPhone setting. So I drove home and did just that. Apparently my phone was coming up somewhere in the woods at the end of the village.
Okay, yeah.
None of my siblings were home at the time. They were all away at school, so I couldn't ask any of them to come with me. So it looked like I was heading out alone. My dad didn't want me to come because he had work early the next morning, but he let me take his phone with me to track my phone. It was a quick 5 to 10 minute drive to the woods. I parked on the grass on the side of the road.
You know what? I'm supposed to start listening.
It seemed like I was maybe a minute walk north away. Obviously, I brought my flashlight expecting to be following the trail into the woods.
For this video, I'm using my headphones. Like, it's hard for me to hear. If I turn it up too loud, then they won't record my voice. So, which I don't need to listen to my voice anyway, because like, I talk too much. But, okay. I think these headphones don't work, actually.
Now that I stood there, though, the idea of going in there was a lot less appealing. In fact, the whole situation seemed more suspicious, such as why whoever found my phone would be in the middle of the dark woods at 10 o'clock. I definitely shouldn't have come alone, but at this point, I didn't see much more of a choice than following the trail. The flashlight I had sucked. It barely lit up the trail 5 feet in front of me.
No.
Eventually, it seemed like I was right on the mark of the location for my phone. I did a full 360, examining my surroundings, but seeing nothing but darkness and trees. I started yelling for somebody to come out. It was the first time I heard my own voice in an hour, and it came out weak and unintimidating. When I called out, I heard a whispering come from beyond a few trees, and the east direction on my map. I yelled out again. Silence this time now. I started sending texts with my dad's phone to my phone, and I heard the dings coming from the same direction as the whispering.
Stop this animation.
I looked in that direction and saw the glow of a phone screen so bright that it lit up the figures of 2, maybe 3 men standing behind a line of trees.
I'm not looking.
At that exact moment, I had a realization in my head that I was in way over my head being in those woods alone, and that my iPhone was in no way worth risking my life.
Of course, idiot.
I turned the flashlight off and ran back down the trail as fast as I could, back to my car. By the time I got back, my phone could no longer be located on the Find My iPhone app, meaning it was either broken, disconnected, or turned off. I have checked a few times since then if the phone comes up on the map. It never has, though. I think I made the right choice running away. I don't think any possession would be worth approaching a group of people like that in the woods.
Walk around and just listen to us. It's like, I'm not.
I recently lost my iPhone. It was a 5C, a really old one. I was due for another one anyway, but let me tell you the story of how I lost it. I had admittedly been drinking one night on the weekends, and at some point in the night I lost my phone.
Okay, then.
Later on in the night, when my friends and I sobered up a bit, I asked one of my friends to let me use their phone to track mine using the Find My iPhone thing. It wasn't too far, actually, only a mile away from us, but that meant someone took my phone.
I'm back.
My friend Ryan and I took a drive to this abandoned warehouse building. Of course, it had to be an abandoned building. We found a way inside, with only Ryan's phone flashlight to use for navigation. The place was cold, full of trash and rubble, and every little sound created an echo. We heard yelling coming from upstairs, from what sounded like 2 people. Ryan and I figured one of them had to have my phone. So still, with a slight amount of liquid confidence in us, we found a stairway that led to the next level. We came to a hallway, which was disturbingly silent. The only thing to break the silence was a bang from a nearby locker room type area.
Oh no.
Ryan and I both tried hard to make our presence known so that we wouldn't surprise any potentially dangerous people. We entered this kind of changing room area, or whatever it was, but it had a bunch of lockers. No one was in the room. Ryan started checking the lockers out of desperation, which made a lot of noise, I guess, because we heard a deep voice from another room call us over and said that they had what we were looking for. I was about to walk into the adjacent room, but Ryan put his hand on my shoulder to stop me and put his finger on his lips as he went, shh. He was doing something on his phone. I didn't know what until I heard my ringtone and the vibration of my phone coming from one of the lockers. There were too many to distinguish quick enough which one it could be. I started checking the ones where the sound could have been coming from before Rye pulled me by the arm and told me, let's go. I told him, wait, let me get my phone first. But he kept saying, no, let's go. By the time we got to the car, we had a long discussion about what was going down in there, or what was about to go down. Rye was positive we were walking straight into a trap. How he was so sure was because as I was checking the lockers for my phone, he spotted someone's head behind one of the walls to the adjacent room. They were peering their head in just barely, making it obvious they were hiding and had questionable intentions. It wasn't the end of the world. It was an old iPhone that wouldn't have been worth much anyway. It was much better to escape with our wallets, or even our lives instead.
Maybe it's not on 3 is oldest. Be over. Be over. I'm watching the screen slightly, okay? Alright, guys. That's the end of this video. Last one. Okay, so this will be the last video I record today. Maybe I might record a Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning video. If I can get my recording software to work. The other one. This is one of them, but I have 2 of them. Hopefully I get the other one to work. It's to record screens. This one is to record reactions. It's just like this one cannot record nothing else but reactions. It won't work elsewhere. This that's called REACTION.CAM. So go search it up on the App Store or the Google Play or the Play Store or whatever. I have an iPhone 5S, like literally like one of the oldest iPhones. Not the oldest, but one of the oldest. So I have no idea. This is like one of the first iPhones I ever built. One of the first, not the first, but one of the first. But anyway, so if you guys did like this video, there's another question I want to ask you in the comments below. So are you an iPhone fan or an Android fan? Comment below iPhone if you're an iPhone fan. Comment below Android if you're an Android fan. That's really want to know, because like I'm an iPhone fan. I Androids. The only reason I like Androids because I can actually download music for free usually on MP3 juices is what I think it's called. MP3 sites, Google and stuff. That's the only reason I like Androids. But other than that, iPhone's the best. It can hold a lot more storage too. Because my Android, it sucks. I don't have it right now. I'm grounded from it. I grounded from this iPhone too. Actually, I'm not really grounded from this iPhone. They gave it back to me today. They said I can only have one phone. So, iPhone. They told me I could choose iPhone or Android. I chose iPhone. Basically, so that's me in this video, guys. If you did like this video, subscribe to my channel, like, comment below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Why won't it stop? Oh, peace.